It's a beautiful Monday morning, the 22nd day of August 2022. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Anambra right here on ABS TV. My name is Chidima Orangwa. I hope you had a restful weekend. All right, we are starting the show this morning. We are bringing to you stories trending on ABS website and other national tabloids. Stay with us. You're welcome back, and our reviewers this morning are Kanayo Obidibo. He's a public affairs analyst. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning for having me.
All right, we also have Sir Jerry Obodo, also a public affairs analyst. Sir Jerry.
It's my pleasure being here. May peace of Christ be with you.
All right, quickly, let's start the show this morning with the stories on ABS website. The first story we have this morning on our website, Serap calls for withdrawal of a revocation order on debtor broadcast stations. World Fashion Day, stakeholders call for decent dressing among age strata. Anambra lawmaker Nwafor commends Soludo on youth empowerment. Mrs. Soludo restates resolve to sustain campaign on hygiene, healthy living across Anambra State. Let's start with you, Kanayo. These are what we have on ABS website this morning. So let's start with the very first one, talking about Serap calling for withdrawal of revocation order on debtor broadcast stations.
Yes, the broadcast station knows that it is an obligation to pay their dues as at when due. A situation where broadcasting stations are owing and they are being sanctioned. I think what the Serap should be asking for is a modality for payments so that they will be able to do business, because they are in business. And I don't see why people who are in business in this country decide to owe money that is payable and accrued from the businesses, just like we don't pay taxes. There is no way in the world where taxes are not paid or services rendered are not paid for. The economy will not grow, corporations will die, and I appeal that they be given some, cushion to be able to pay up. Not that the big stick welded to remind them that this is an obligation, and they should live up to their responsibility. Thank you.
All right. So Jerry,
Yeah.
Would you want to comment on that, or we have other stories there?
Yeah, let me just chip in something there. Sometimes, like my colleague has said, sometimes it becomes as a result of mismanagement of the fund being generated by the stations that cost the debtor, status. So in that case, the sanction is very, welcome. But in a case where, as a result of economic problem, they don't generate a lot of money, and that made them to go into debt, that one could be understandable. And in that case, we should be asking for a debt rescheduling.
Okay.
So that they will get over it and go on stream once more.
All right.
Can I say something on the way we dress?
World Fashion Day, I wanted to
that's
talk
right.
about that.
You
Okay,
see,
go ahead.
On World Fashion Day, it is very important that we start to look the way we dress decently among our, like they said, all strata. There are girls who put on dresses that is not a normal outdoor kind of dresses. You don't dress suggestively, you don't dress provocatively, and the consequences are there are some perverts who can't hold themselves. And a situation where a lady, a girl, is not properly dressed. And I want to talk to our mothers. It is important you teach that dress code, that moral, that decency, which was known. You find out that the Northerners, the Hausa woman, almost covers herself decently. And down here, you find out even in the church, sometimes women dress so nasty and comes to church that even provokes some of our priests to talk about it while the sermon is going on. So a date to promote decent dressing in our communities, just like our mothers have concluded their August meeting. It should have come up as an agenda to talk to our younger girls, more especially girls, to dress decently so that they will not provoke, matters of rape, matters of assault, and as a result of their indecent way of dressing. But we all know that when you dress well, you will be addressed well.
All right. Quickly, let's go over to the very first paper under review this morning. That's Daily Sun newspaper. With the big story there, the banner headline, confusion, shock over INEC manual result collation notice. IPAC, CSOs, Otomi, TMG orders one commission. We will transmit results electronically, INEC. Anxiety as banks loan to power sector rises to over 800 billion naira. IPOB blasts Miyetti Allah for linking Peter Obi to group's struggle. Aggrieved APC presidential aspirant senators revolt, accused Tinubu Adamu of isolating stakeholders. Paris Club reformed, NGF faults Nwoko, accuses him of blatant lies, says court will determine veracity of consultant's claim. Tompolo Ijo Youth warn Arewa counterpart over inflammatory comment. All right, these are many more are what we have in front of the Daily Sun newspaper. So Jerry.
Yeah. On the shock,
Confusion, shock.
Yeah, over next manual result notice. The going back and forth thing is really shocking. Already, I think we have gone, further than we are shocked too, on that. But we don't know, where it's coming out from, because the electoral law is very clear on the mode of handling the 2023 election. So I don't think that what is there is something to write home, go home about. We are already with the electoral law, the electoral transmission of results, collation and everything. We can't go back to the manual type again. And it's very, very clear. It's signed, and we shouldn't be talking about. So I don't take that report as serious.
Let's know who we have here. Hello, good morning.
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Your name?
Hugo, calling from Ghana.
All right, Hugo, you're welcome. Go ahead.
IPOB blast Miyetti Allah. It's only a stupid person that will say that it's not an IPOB. Because IPOB is just talking about the welfare of the whole Africa. So everybody belongs to Africa, belongs to West Africa. So when IPOB is talking about the welfare of the whole Nigeria, who will come and say that he's not in support of IPOB? That is, by the way, the media houses that they are trying to ban, they should consider also the number of people that have been employed there, that are working. They should make ease of doing business very easy for everybody to make business, because it's the business, those people that they are paying in that place are paying tax to Nigerian government. If they don't know, let me tell them that the interest taxes they are getting from people, if they manage the resources that are coming to Nigeria very well, everybody should be happy. But this is a case that they will get the taxes and corner it for another thing. If you are paying tax and you don't know the tax that you are paying, what it's being used to, why will you be happy to pay tax? In fact, may God have mercy on those people that are saying that they are really not in Nigeria there. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Shugo.
So I was trying to say something on the confusion shock over INEC manual result collection notice. Are we going backward? I mean, technology has shown that the best way for a credible and acceptable election is through this through this electronic transmission. Yes, why wouldn't people shout? The ICT director, Chidi Nwafo, was deployed to become administrative secretary in Enugu zone of the INEC, which is unbelievable. This is a man who actually developed the beavers. And you want to move him out of INEC, where collection, of result, where his expertise is needed. And you are moving him to Enugu to become administrative secretary. For what? So what we are trying to see is that there are some, suspicion of what is going to happen in the next year election. And if the grounds are being prepared for rigging, I want to use that harsh word, rigging, and no more manipulation, then it is wrong. We have found out that people are now eager. People want to vote, and you want to shortchange them. You want to, disenfranchise them by trying to bring up manual result. It is very wrong that Nigeria that has spent a lot of money on development of our electoral processes for us to have credible election, and we are going back to Egypt. Why do we want to do that? It is wrong. Whether they like it or not, I challenge Okoye, the director of voters education in the INEC, to tell Nigerians why electronic transmission of votes should be discarded for manual kind of. Don't know what manual is. Manual means that you can manipulate with your pen. A result that been forwarded for us to know who actually wins an election. So if they are trying to cause chaos in the next year election by manipulation of processes that will give us credibility in the Committee of Nations, that we have actually carried an election out, and it is credible, it is acceptable, and they continue. Well, I pray that the electorate should come up. Now that people are crying over, you don't do this. We have come to accept it. Ekiti, Onsho, we have seen what happened there, and it was clearer that elections were credible. So we must continue.
Let's go over to the next paper this morning. That's the New National Star newspaper with the banner headline, Paris Club reformed. Governors attacked Malami Nwoko and others say, we never took $100 million from consultants for election. Consultants seek $480,953,690 from state local government. This is NGF. And then we have up there, gunmen kidnapped 4 Catholic sisters in Imo. Soludo bans cattle movement in Anambra want herdsmen. Gunmen kill Yobe Islamic cleric as Borno loses local government chairman. And still talking about the manual collation of result, Atiku alleges rigging plot as INEC clears air on e-transmission. This is what we have in front of the New National Star newspaper this morning.
Yeah, let me talk on the governor, Mr. Governor, on the ban of castle. This has been passed by the House of Assembly, but it's not followed up to logical conclusion. What I mean is to see to the implementation of that law. The cattle is still, on the street, on the roads, with defecating, and making the place very unclean and with the smells. So I urge Mr. Governor to please set up, a committee or task force that will, take this, cattle to a logical conclusion, to see that they are confined, in a place. We've already talked about the ranching thing, so let him go ahead and do. And a lot of smells of so let him please make sure that this is stopped. He has a law backing it. Thank you.
Thank you. Quickly, let's see what we have in front of the Punch newspaper this morning. 578 days strikes. Angry lecturers dumping varsities. ASU lament. A government shoddy treatment pushing lecturers out of varsity system. ASU president. 70% of bright, promising young lecturers leaving Nigeria, says Unilag ASU chair. Federal government to pay varsities management 170 billion naira and allowances and others. Military ends siege to Somali hotel, 21 dead. And then we have up there 1 trillion naira spent on steel imports. Ajokuta takes 21 billion naira. Undisbursed loans push Nigeria's World Bank debt to $21 billion. A federal government concludes takeover of 4 discos. Many CSOs are PDB members in disguise. Keyamo. All right, let's start with the big story then. Talking about angry lecturers dumping varsities.
Yes, it is unfortunate that we have so much undermined education sector in this country. By UN provision and precision and advice, 20% of our annual budget should have been allotted to the education sector. But here in this country, it's less than 10%. It is very unfortunate that our educational sector, where we usually believe that the leaders of tomorrow are being groomed, is being so much undermined that lecturers now, most of them are leaving this country for greener pasture. And we know what it was in the 80s when checking out was the in thing. So now you are asking our intellectual properties, that capacity that holds the university or the tertiary institution together, by not paying them. For 578 days they have been at home. And it is affecting our children. And our children are being faced with social tendencies within our communities. And we don't know what it means. We saw what happened at the frontline state of the Northeast and Northwest when Boko Haram was harassing the entire place and schools were being closed. You saw where that concentration of schools was in Maiduguri, where Zulum was building mega schools at a very high cost, because we can no longer keep our children in schools within their community. Now, our university has been shut down. Last year, Federal University students who took JAMB, who took examination and passed their WAEC and NECO, did not matriculate. And now there's a backlog because this year again, people are passed WAEC, people are passing NECO, people are also passing JAMB. How do we now bring the lost school years together for our children to move on? they are competing with the students of other worlds. So it's not only in Nigeria. Ghana is making progress. Our children are being taken to Ghana to go and get education.
Let's see what we have in front of the Nation newspaper. That's our newspaper this morning under review. The Nation, the banner headline there, twist in Paris Club refund saga as consultant hits governors, says he's owed $68 million. 2023 polls, vote buyers thought risk 15-year jail term. 5 arrested over attack on convoy of Oyetola's wife. Atiku needs Wike to win, says PDP ex-governor. Rivers governor vows to deal with friends turned political enemies. And then we can see the picture of a young girl there. Train attack, help free my sister from terrorist forced marriage plan. Louis brother begs federal government. I think she's one of the people that were kidnapped then.
Yeah.
Then SANU and NASU suspend strike for 2 months as federal government agrees to release 50 billion naira for allowances. So Jerry.
The SANU and is a good development so that they will go back to work. But what worries us is the non-resolution of that matter on time that made it to linger on for this long. The same thing applies to this ASUTE. A very sensible and sensitive government cannot allow the educational system to crumble as it is today. I say this with all sense of responsibility. The government of the day, the federal government, is very insensitive to educational sector. I can't imagine undergraduate who has 4 years going in now for 8 years, 7 years. It's very frustrating. It throws a lot of disillusionment to the youths. So all I'm saying is that when you see a trade dispute coming with the parties, don't allow it to get to strike before you resolve it. Okay. That's the takeaway.
Hello, good morning. Okay, please, if you want to call us, the numbers is the number for you to call is displayed on your TV set, in front of your TV set this morning. So if you have any contribution, you're free to do so. All right, quickly, you want to add something to what he said?
The Paris Club reform decided.
Yeah.
I don't understand Nigeria. For every program in this country, it must be fraud clothed. How Ned Nwoko came up with a revelation of the Paris Fund refund, and then as a consultant, he said he was being owed $63 million. And the federal government now is running back and forth on a blame game because he has opened a can of worms for a fraudulent activity that is going on in this country. Because there's no consequences. If there are consequences for every misappropriation or for deceiving Nigerians, then that's right.
Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and your location?
Yeah, my name is Anthony.
Anthony, please reduce the volume on your TV set. Are you there?
I'm there.
All right, go ahead.
Good morning. Yeah. I want to ask you about concerning the Mana collective. This is the way the APC wants to use our this election. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we are listening.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I said we should debate it. It's not good.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. All right, go ahead, Kanayo.
Let me conclude. It is a shame that Paris Club we actually looked at. It is money borrowed that will be paid back. And now it is, laced with a kind of ugly stories. I don't know why Nigerians are not worried when ugly stories are being told on our financial misappropriation. And we look at it, we glow over it. My friend used to say it is a 7 days wonder. In the next 7 days, it is gone. We sweep under the carpet and we bring up another scandal. So the federal government, are they now saying that Paris Fund is not being withdrawn from the allocation of the local government and the state government? If they are saying, why can't we be, decent in presentation of our financial dealings with whoever it is involved?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my sisters and brothers. My name is Blessed William from my point.
Okay, go ahead, Blessed.
Okay. My own suggestion, one of the hardest things in language is repeating one thing at any time, and I think I can describe. So what I'm just want to say is that, we are suffering something of Boko Haram in Nigeria. At the beginning of Boko Haram is that the education is very bad. Is that the way of killing that education or not? Because we are confused. If you know what university is, to miss a lecture for 1 hour, even for a semester, no positive. But now we are taking up to 3 or 2 semesters or even more than that. Is that another way of eliminating education? If you watch what happened in Africa once a time, that they just strike there, they say that all the schools must be closed. If that's the way of eliminating school, I don't know. The second thing now, in terms of security, go to Imo State now, the kidnapping is rampant in Imo State. Some of the rebel systems are kidnapping in Imo State. I don't know, is this that I think from the law, the bandits or something like that? So they will just know to see about it. And then we don't have anything. Most of the Westerners, they have a more technical, they think they will follow them to go and they know where they are, and they have them. But our God is like the millions, 7 millions for the ransom. So please, we have to be a great country, opening up with ourselves. And
All right.
Our brothers and sisters, our children, in the yard for a long time like this. I don't know, let our senators, our governors, and those that are in power, maybe know what to do.
All right. Thank you so much for your contributions. Thank you, Blessed. All right, quickly, let's see what we have in front of the Daily Trust newspaper and This Day newspaper. We are taking both together. Daily Trust, monkeypox cases rise, spread to 26 states, FCT. Confirmed cases highest in 6 years. Experts harp on precautionary measures. NCDC raises surveillance as states trace contact. Lassa fever kills 168 in 25 states in 8 months. 2023, INEC insists on e-transmission of results. Despite CBN warning, banks rejecting lower dollar bills. Then banditry kingpin Bello Tuji has embraced peace with Zamfara government. 6 wedding guests, 4 Reverend sisters kidnapped in Katsina and Imo State. Now, This Day newspaper, in front of This Day newspaper, Atiku, INEC laying foundation for rigging 2023 polls with manual collation of results, says there must be strict adherence to electoral law. Commission clarifies position, insists electronic transmission of result stays. Osibanjo, federal government ready to resolve tariff shortfalls in power sector, tells electricity board to protect interests of ordinary citizens. BPE says 4 discos successfully taken over. And then we still have the $418 million. Your statement is half-truth. Governors tackle Ned Nwoko. So these are all we have in front of the both papers this morning. So Jerry.
Already we've talked about the electronic transmission of results.
INEC
that's why I said I don't know how that story emanated that they are going back to manual. So INEC is clarifying that matter. So we urge them to, keep holding on that. We don't need to go back to Egypt like my colleague has said. We're out of Egypt and we are glad to be out. 2023, let's tell the world that, we can do it. And, turn up, the people-oriented result through that electronic, system. Having said that, we are now talk on monkey pox case rise spread to 26 states and FCT. Yeah, I urge the citizens of the country to be aware of this ailment. Take it serious, because before you know it, it goes like a COVID-19 matter. And I urge the medical team to be alive, to its duty, be proactive, and keep the necessary drugs and vaccines ready for any outbreak. Thank you very much.
All right. Kanayo, let's also see the stereo where the Vice President is saying that the federal government is ready to resolve tariff shortfall in the power sector. And we can see from the rider there that Ford Discos has successfully been taken over by the government.
You see, the problem we have in this country is not borrowing. What our problem is deploying the funds to improve infrastructure, production, and growth of our economy. But the situation where some good guys, some smart guys are trying to corner funds. You see, we have a debt management office, the DMO. They should be liaising. Now a committee has been set up to look into that, and from the DMO office, from the Ministry of Finance, from Accountant General, from Malami's office, the big lawyer, that is the Attorney General. But you see, Osinbajo, yes, we want to deploy funds to infrastructure. Energy is a problem in our country today, and energy drives the economy. If there is no light, the common man will not set up a grinding machine in the market. He will not set up a barber shop. The saloon makers. These are small scale industry provisions, and it is being powered by the energy sector. And we are receiving funds. When we receive funds, we mismanage it. That is why the Nigerian economy is nosediving. Whether we like it or not, what was obtainable in 2015 is no longer what we can observe now. So let us tell ourselves the simple truth. Osinbajo, right. Yes, wear the big stick. As an expert in different areas, we know that you have performed while you were in Lagos State, and now you are 7.5 years, and we are still talking about a lot of things not happening in Nigeria.
All right. Man, hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Tell us your name and your location.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, yes, go ahead. We are listening.
I want to speak about all this kidnapping. All this kidnapping. We're hearing here kidnapping on this slave women and the suicide. Let me say that the church is talking about this is baby. I know why that every time you get to that now with babies and the suicide. It's not looking to it and know why.
All right.
Take a stand so that people will not escalate. Because if it escalates, it will be very hard.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. All right. Quickly, let's look at the last three papers we have this morning. And that's the Daily Independent, The Guardian, and the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Let's start with the Daily Independent. 2023 presidency Anti-grazing law ruin Southern Governors Forum. Only fiscal authorities can check looming economic disaster now. And then we still have there 5G rollout suffers setback as NCC grants Mafab 5-month extension. Aviation stakeholder list why Naira free fall will continue. Electronic, okay, that one is from INEC, we've seen that. And then we still have down the NDLEA intercept 2.3 million tabs of opioids going to northern states. Now the Guardian newspaper, stranded fund, foreign airlines withdraw to cost Nigeria $1.36 billion. Igbo Day, Ohaneze denies inviting Obi, Tinubu and Atiku. Impeach Buhari for gross misconduct. That is what we have there. And then there's an editorial inside the Guardian newspaper this morning. Then lastly, Kasidi, 2 days to 5G rollout. MTN claims readiness. Mafab regrets targets January 2023. And finally, Nigerian Tribune. We still have there how COVID-19 insecurity render businesses inactive in 17 free trade zones. Resident doctor extends strike ultimatum by 2 weeks. So these are what we have in front of those three papers this morning. So let's quickly just merge all of them together and talk about it.
The resident doctors extending strike, still what we are talking about. The insensitive nature of the federal government to resolve trade disputes on time before harm is done, before going for a strike. Once the strike commences, harm will be done. The doctors now on strike, the grass is suffering. The sick people are not accessing the medical treatment.
Right.
And they may not even afford to go to the private sector medical facilities. Okay. So the federal government should please resolve trade disputes to avoid allowing it going to strike before they now start negotiating and renegotiating and all that.
Okay, quickly from you, Kanaya.
Yeah, the stranded for foreign airlines. You see, Nigerians are facing terrible situation that we have never had before. Yes, the foreign airlines, like the Emirates, that took the first step to withdraw their operations in this country. Yes, it is as a result of our, whether we like it or not, our economy is nosediving. They can't repatriate money that they make in this country, and they are not like Nigerians. They know they are operating on profit. No, it's only in Nigeria that we do business without profit, and we still hold on to it. So the airlines are doing the right thing to strengthen Nigerians and tell them that it is a responsibility for you to do what? To improve your economy. Then they should be able to repatriate their funds.
All right, on that note, I want to say a very big thank you to both of you, Kanayo Obidibo and also Sir Jerry Obodo, for joining us on Press Review this morning. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for having us. And I urge the state government, please, Mr. Governor, to improve on the cutting away of the refugees.
Yeah, he's trying.
Here and there.
I think within Naka Metropolis, I think
all right.
they have done wonders.
Thank you.
I give them kudos.
Thank you so much for joining us on Press Review this morning. We are going on a short break. When we come back, we'll see you at the other side. Stay with us.